George Michael once famously said, "One day my sexuality is being made more of than my music, but my music will last. This rubbish will be gone." In the glamorous yet cutthroat world of pop music, few artists embodied that belief more completely than George himself. The golden-voiced singer who first conquered the charts with Wham! And then went on to a dazzling solo career was not only a global superstar, he was a relentless perfectionist whose impossibly high standards reportedly rubbed more than a few fellow musicians the wrong way. Welcome to another revealing edition of Offstage Tales, where today we explore the untold story of George Michael and the 6 bands who, according to insiders, struggled to cope with his uncompromising pursuit of musical excellence. Throughout his career, the man behind hits like Freedom and Careless Whisper maintained an almost obsessive commitment to sonic perfection. His artistic disagreements often ran far deeper than cultural differences or personal backgrounds. From London club rivalries to international chart battles, George's clashes with these acts show an artist who valued musical integrity over polite diplomacy. These confrontations spanned decades and continents, sometimes costing him professional friendships, but never his dedication to craft. Prepare to revisit some of pop's most fascinating rivalries as we count down the 6 bands who allegedly failed to meet George Michael's golden standards. 6 culture clubs starting our list is Culture Club and their charismatic frontman, Boy George. In the early 1980s, both George emerged from London's club scene with strikingly androgynous images and infectious pop hooks. Their similarities fueled a fierce competition over who truly represented authentic British pop artistry. According to former Smash Hits editor Neil Tennant, George Michael privately remarked that Boy George was all costume and no substance, believing Culture Club's success proved audiences were rewarding theatrical gimmicks over genuine talent. Michael reportedly bristled at what he viewed as shock value, masquerading as artistry. Real pop music should stand on its own merit, not depend on how much attention your appearance generates, he told The Face in 1983 without naming names. The tension escalated as both acts dominated MTV and British music shows. At a 1984 London Awards ceremony, witnesses say Michael deliberately avoided being photographed with Boy George, allegedly telling his manager, "I won't be associated with someone who treats music like a costume party." 5. Spandau Ballet. Next is Spandau Ballet, another stylish product of London's New Romantic movement. The rivalry began in the early 1980s when both acts rose from the same club circuit but followed very different paths. According to former Enemy writer Paul Morley, Michael privately dismissed Spandau Ballet as fashion victims who stumbled into hit records, claiming their success relied more on trendy aesthetics than solid songwriting. He was particularly irritated by the critical praise they received for what he allegedly called runway music designed, for people who care more about looking cool than listening to melodies. During preparations for Live Aid 1985, witnesses say Michael questioned Spandau Ballet's inclusion, reportedly telling organizers, "This is supposed to be about serious music, not a fashion show for bands who mistake posing for performing." 4. Pet Shop Boys. Landing at number 4 are the cerebral electronic innovators Pet Shop Boys. Both acts were pioneers of mid-1980s synthesizer pop, but with dramatically different philosophies. According to former Record Mirror editor Mike Gardner, Michael once described the duo as cold academics who think irony makes music meaningful, frustrated that critics seem to favor their detached cleverness over heartfelt emotion. While George poured raw feeling into tracks like Careless Whisper, Pet Shop Boys earned praise for what he reportedly called computer music for people afraid of actual feelings. In 1987, he told Q magazine, "Real pop music should touch hearts, not just heads," a thinly veiled reference to their analytical style. At a 1988 industry showcase, witnesses claimed Michael deliberately skipped their performance, allegedly telling his producer, "I don't need to watch people turn mathematics into melodies." 3. Duran Duran. At number 3 we find Duran Duran, the glamorous MTV darlings whose polished videos defined an era. Their rise in the early 1980s ran parallel to Wham's, but George reportedly felt they relied too heavily on image. Former Smash Hits editor David Hepworth recalled Michael calling them pretty boys who think expensive videos can replace songwriting talent, frustrated that style seemed to be winning over substance. He allegedly told The Face in 1984, "Real pop stars should be known for their music first, not their cheekbones." The rivalry intensified as both bands competed for magazine covers and video rotations. At a 1985 London industry party, witnesses claimed Michael refused to sit at Duran Duran's table, telling bandmate Andrew Ridgeley, "I won't be photographed with people who've turned music into a modeling assignment." Two Simple Minds in second place are Simple Minds, the Scottish arena rock giants. Their sweeping stadium anthems clashed with Michael's belief in pop sophistication during the mid-1980s. According to former Kerrang! Writer Jeff Barton, Michael privately criticized them as pretentious stadium rockers who mistake volume for emotion, frustrated that critics treated their bombastic style as more serious than pop craftsmanship. He reportedly told Melody Maker in 1986, "There's a difference between making music that fills stadiums and making music that fills hearts." The rivalry sharpened when both acts competed for major film soundtrack spots in the late 1980s. At a 1987 industry conference, witnesses say Michael questioned Simple Minds' artistic credibility, remarking, "Stadium rock shouldn't be confused with sophisticated pop just because it sells tickets." One, Tears for Fears, taking the top spot as Tears for Fears, the acclaimed duo behind some of the decade's most intricate pop. Both acts specialized in emotionally layered productions. But Michael reportedly mocked their psychological themes as therapy sessions set to pop music. Former Record Mirror journalist Betty Page recalled Michael saying their success showed audiences were mistaking neurosis for artistic depth. He was especially irritated by overlapping opportunities for collaborations in the late 1980s, claiming they offered amateur psychology disguised as pop innovation. At a 1988 industry showcase, witnesses reported that Michael deliberately avoided them, allegedly telling his producer, "I don't network with people who think pop music is group therapy."
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.